17. We're going to talk today about white-skinnedness, whiteness, white supremacy culture, and dominant culture. So, white-skinnedness is just the phenotype of having white skin. Whiteness started as whiteness studies out of studying poor white people coming out of the Appalachia trails, like Kentucky, that part of the world where white people was super, super poor and there was a culture around it. And now we talk about whiteness as the act of behaving with the privileges of all white people. And then you have white supremacy culture, totally different from white supremacists, which is KKK. White supremacy culture is just culture that says white is the highest ranking in the culture. And that's whiteness and white supremacy culture. Dominant culture is whiteness and white supremacy culture, that this is the way of dominance. Now, how do we see this? We see this as products in stores primarily for white people. I remember when there wasn't even cards that had black people on them. All of Hallmark was white people or flowers or stuff like that. All our beauty standards in the media are all beautiful white women. Now we're mixing it up a little bit, but that's whiteness. And we even see whiteness and white supremacy culture in AI, artificial intelligence these days, where you put your hands under the sink like this at the airport, and if you have very dark skin, the machine doesn't read it because it is designed to read white skin. So the problem is not white people. A black-skinned person can be as embedded in white supremacy culture as the king of the hill, as the white king of the hill, okay? So it is a systemic, whiteness, white supremacy culture is a systemic and organized set of beliefs, values, canonized knowledge, and even religion to maintain a hierarchical over and against power structure based on skin color against people of color. White is right. That's basically what it says. So a black man disrespects a white man, automatically the white man is at fault, even though the black man is at fault, even though the white man first disrespected him. They're not considered the same. Now, Ruby Sales, in her TED Talk called How We Healed Racial Division, said, whiteness is a culture where white people are seen as necessary and friendly insiders, while people of color, especially black people, are seen as dangerous and threatening outsiders who pose a clear and present danger to the safety and efficacy of the culture of whiteness. So if you don't conform, you're a threat. That's the bottom line. Whiteness is a dehumanizing process that melts away all of our multiple and interlocking identities, such as race, class, gender is huge, and sexuality, so that whiteness is a unity maintained for power, for white people to maintain power. Tima Okun, a Jewish scholar, wrote about this, and her work has since been updated, but she wrote about this many years ago in collaboration with many black people and listed several things about it. In the notes, you'll see the website to go to, and it's whitesupremacyculture.info, and look up characteristics. She says that these are the attributes, okay? You've got to learn them. This is your homework. Fear, one right way or perfectionism, and either or, everything is either or binary. Denial and defensiveness, we'll talk about that with white fragility later on. A right to comfort and fear from conflict is part of white supremacy culture. High levels of individualism, which we've talked about. Progress is more and quantity over quality. Quantity over quality. Worship of the written word. If it ain't in a memo, it doesn't exist. And this urgency to do stuff right now. So when white people finally figure out race, all of a sudden we have to do something about it today, right? That's all part of that white supremacy culture that propels white values and white culture and white superiority forward. So compassion. If you're white, you were born into it. As a black person, I was born into it. And you were socialized deeply into this. We all were. We have to tap deeply into compassion to undo this, right? It takes compassion. You got to work on it. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You have no idea how much perfectionism is driving you, right? And you'll never fully get it right to undo it, but keep at it. We're all a work in progress. You're worth uncovering all this in yourself. And today, I want you to look at Tima Okun's website. Like I said, hello, day 17. We're going to talk today about white-skinnedness, whiteness, white supremacy culture, and dominant culture. So white-skinnedness is just the phenotype of having white skin. Whiteness started as whiteness studies out of studying poor white people coming out of the Appalachia trails, like Kentucky